Hello and welcome back to Listen Up, presented by Dempsey's Grill in Sportsland. And oh man, guys, this was just an incredible performance, all out incredible performance by the whole UConn Huskies team tonight. Absolutely incredible to watch. I'm left here speechless, to be honest, which isn't good because I don't want to feel here again with me tonight to back me up, but I'll try to get through this one. So excited to go on here tonight after this game against the Providence Friars. And the UConn Huskies faithful showed out again tonight in Stores. 10,000 plus crowd tonight, I think, in Stores, Connecticut at Gamble Pavilion. So the energy, the electric was definitely there for UConn tonight. And they did win in a lot of style tonight. But UConn came out absolutely dominated. I'm not sure if I've ever watched a quarter of basketball where it was just so one-sided. I mean, there is almost nothing UConn could have done differently. They played about as perfect as possible. They shot 12 of 14 as a team from the field, went on a 10-0 run, then another 12-point run. The Huskies almost scored 30 points in the first quarter, 29-8 UConn at the end of one. And this is just one of those games that UConn wins as long as the bus showed up on time, as Gino said in one of those standard episodes during the all season. But just the defense tonight too was spectacular. Every shot Providence took was contested. Nothing was easy. And UConn's offense was really in rhythm tonight. Much better ball movement and passing than previous games. Really limited their turnovers, which was something they needed to work on, and they did fix that tonight. In the first half, UConn couldn't miss. They shot 70% from the floor, 60% from outside the arc, and it was a good fun, just for good fun and good measure. Lou Lopez Seneschal took it the length of the court and lobbed up a three-pointer at the buzzer to make the score 54-25 at the half. Unreal shooting performance by the whole team. Lopez Seneschal continued scoring in the third quarter, took an elbow to the face, and that still didn't stop her from scoring. Amari DeBerry entered the game with 3 minutes left in the third quarter, and Nesh Betancourt entered with about 2 minutes left. And Gino had all the starters sitting except for Aubrey Griffin, just because the scores, the blowout game. It was good to see all 9 active players tonight for UConn get into the game, get some minutes, and they played very, very good as well. Final score ended up being 98-53 in favor of UConn. They just barely missed the 100-point mark again. They scored 98 their first game against Northeastern and 98 again here tonight, just barely missing the 100-point mark. Aubrey Griffin, 18 points, 10 rebounds, really played great tonight, making hustle plays, continuing to start for the injured Dorka Juhas. Dorka Juhas, by the way, out tonight, got I believe, a stent in her thumb. I don't think she's going to be able to play again tomorrow against Notre Dame on Sunday for that game, or not tomorrow, on Sunday, but we'll have to see it. She might be available for the Thursday game against Princeton. Hopefully we get her back. We'll just have to see. But awesome job from Aubrey Griffin tonight. Played a really, really excellent first half and really continued her performance in the second half. Aaliyah Edwards, yet another double-double, her fourth of the season, and that's the norm for her now. Gino expects her to get a double-double every game. Aaliyah, great defense tonight. Also made a lot of hustle plays. The hustle plays tonight, really the whole team, you could say that about the whole team, hustling, getting rebounds, fighting for loose balls. I mean, give it up to Providence too. They really did. They fought for all 4 quarters, but just UConn, obviously the better team, the faster team, stronger team. But give it up for Providence. They did. They gave an effort for all 4 quarters, but UConn's effort all 4 quarters tonight as well was spectacular. Really, really fun game to watch. Lou Lopez hit that buzzer beater 3 to end the first half, carried that momentum into the third quarter, and shot the ball very well. She always takes quality shots, continuing to be a huge offensive piece for UConn. AZ Fudd scored 16 points tonight. Another good shooting performance. Just every time I watch her shoot it, it just amazes me how quick her release is. incredible. Nika Mule, 12 assists again tonight. Another double-digit assist game. She held Janiyah Crooms in check too the whole night. Providence leading scorer. I kind of expected Janiyah at least to get double-digit points, but she was held in check, much like the whole Providence offense was held in check tonight, and Nika Mule was a huge part of that. Janiyah Crooms is one of really the nation's nation's leading scorers. She's up there with the nation's leading scorers, but she was held in check tonight mostly by Nika Mule. And of course, Nika always going to show out on defense, passing the ball. There's really just no one better passing the ball in the country. And she's arguably the best defender, especially at the guard position in the whole country as well. Now, for the bench players, who, like I mentioned, saw a good bit of action tonight due to the score and the game script, just how the overall game went. But Ayanna Patterson, I love seeing her come into the game and hustle. She got a couple steals, couple blocks, played really good defense. She just struggled shooting, but I just really liked how she kept being aggressive offensively. Even though her shot wasn't falling, she just continued to be aggressive. Really great to see out of her. Amari DeBerry. Amari got some playing time tonight. I'm sure a lot of you guys enjoyed watching her play. Honestly, didn't look too bad. Her best quality is rebounding. She was able to get 7 of them tonight. Also scored 6 points in a limited fashion. So Amari looked pretty good out there tonight. And Nesh Betancourt scored her first points as a UConn Husky tonight. The team is really hyped up for her. That was really fun to watch when she drained that 3-point shot. And last but not least, Caroline Ducharme scored 10 points tonight. Another all-around solid performance. I'm glad to see she found her flow. And she looks up the pace. She's going to be a really important piece moving forward. Even after Dorka Juhas gets back, I believe Caroline's still going to see a good amount of minutes for this team. Nika Mule, like I mentioned, 4th straight game with 10-plus assists. The first UConn Husky to do that since 1999. So, I mean, it was really just an incredible performance overall. The whole entire team tonight for UConn just played about as perfect as it gets. I'm sure Gino will have some critique and criticism as they're watching film. There's always something to take away from the game and to improve on, but really just almost a perfect performance by the whole entire team tonight. Obviously, Providence, like I said, gave an effort, which was good to see throughout all 4 quarters, but UConn very, very dominant tonight in their win. I try to pick a player of the game after every single game. If I had to give it to one player, I'd probably go Aubrey Griffin. She played a really, really good first half. She shot the ball incredible in the first half, scored 18 points. Really good to see her with another solid performance. But I mean, you could really just give the award to the whole entire team. Give each of them a player of the game award because it was really a whole team effort tonight. And like I said, it was great to see players coming off the bench. Inesh, especially Inesh and Amari DeBerry coming off the bench and getting them minutes. Let's get into some comments. I'll read off about 3 comments here. Let's go. Grafter G-Man says Providence shouldn't be too difficult, so Coach Gino should rest the starting 5 as much as possible so they'll be fresh and ready for Notre Dame on Sunday. The Fighting Irish will have a tough matchup, so UConn needs to pounce on and shut them down. Well, I mean that's what happened tonight. They definitely predicted that pretty spot on, and I mean that's just kind of how the game script was tonight because of the score. The starters were resting for a good part of the 3rd quarter and about half of the 4th quarter as well. So, like I mentioned, it was good to see the bench players coming in, and they really played pretty good. So that was really fun to see. And it will be a pretty quick turnaround to Notre Dame on Sunday at 3 o'clock on ABC. But I'm sure the players are going to be ready for that game. Notre Dame, obviously, I expect them to be pretty mad, pretty upset coming off that upset loss to Maryland. So that should be a pretty good game. I would expect that one to just maybe be a little bit closer than that one, than this one was tonight. Let's get into another one here. Lindsay Matthews commented, the question is, does this team have the will to win? Remember the final when Diana had to win the championship for the 2nd time without without what she thought was a strong team. Those players were not the best, but they had the will to win, and they did. Does this UConn team have the will to win? What do you think? Well, I certainly do think they have the will to win. And honestly, I didn't think it was actually possible to win the championship or even make it there for that matter when we got the news about the Paige Becker's injury and then seeing Ice Brady go down. The off season it really not made a mark, but it was just kind of disappointing, obviously, losing those two players in the off season and Dorka Juhas also going down. But this team has really impressed me so far. It's just been incredible watching the team really come together as a whole and just playing like that every single night is something really special to watch. And that has a lot to do with Gino and the coaching staff, making sure the team is ready for every single game. This group, it's a really close group. You can really see that every time they go out on the court. This group has a lot of chemistry. They really love playing the game of basketball with each other. They fight every night, no matter what the score is. If they're trailing, they're only leading by a couple possessions, or if they're winning by about 30 points, which was the case tonight, they're still going to show that all that fight and the power. And like I said, that has a lot to do with Coach Gino and the rest of the coaching staff. But I definitely do think this UConn team has the will to win, and they're definitely going to be tough to beat. I don't think they're going to go undefeated, but they're definitely going to be tough to beat. They're going to be a tough out in March Madness, I believe. And we'll just have to see. I mean, they have a date with South Carolina in February, so that's going to be obviously a very, very fun matchup to watch. I mean, I've had that one circled on my calendar ever since that came out during the off season. So a lot of, both teams are going to learn a lot from that matchup. And, it might be a rematch of the championship game last season between UConn and South Carolina. I'll get into one more here. I think UConn overprepared for Iowa. They were so tight in the beginning. That shouldn't be a problem Friday. There's only two things that'll stop UConn this season, even against South Carolina: fatigue when facing a team with relentless defense and plenty of bodies, or being in their heads like they started against Iowa. Well, I mean, I don't disagree. Over prepared, I wouldn't put it that way, maybe. I don't really think you can over prepare for one team. And if there's one coach that's gonna over prepare, it probably would be Gino. But I do think maybe they were in their heads a little bit to start that Iowa game. But that definitely wasn't the case, and it definitely wasn't a problem tonight versus Providence. Like I said, they couldn't have played much better basketball than what they did tonight. If they play like that every single game, they probably won't lose at all this season. But yeah, I mean, fatigue, I don't really see this team getting fatigued either. I mean, even though if they play they are going to play South Carolina, but I mean, any team that UConn faces, I just can't really see them getting fatigued. I think even though there's only going to be 10 players when Dorka gets back that are available to come into the game, of course, we'll only see probably 8 players, and Ness and Amari probably won't see the floor when the game is close. But even though Gino's only going to play 8 players, this team doesn't get fatigued. They're still going to out hustle every single team in the country, and that's what makes this UConn team so good. Just continuing to fight the whole entire game. The hustle defense is always going to be there, and that's what makes this team so special. Just their hustle. They're gonna beat everybody in transition, and they did that again tonight. Got a lot of transition points. I'll go over one more thing here and then probably sign out for tonight. Wanted to go over this. I saw a lot of comments about Caroline and Aubrey, the way they played against Iowa, how great they've been playing overall. And I totally agree. The work that Aubrey has done while Dorka's been out has really gone unnoticed at times. And her contribution to this team is really underrated. Caroline finally fully healthy. She looks like she's got a rhythm and groove back, like I mentioned. So Aubrey and Caroline, definitely two key players. Excuse me. Even though when Dorka comes back, Aubrey probably shift back to the bench. And of course, I would expect Lou Lopez Seneschal to continue starting and Caroline to continue subbing her out coming off the bench. But Aubrey and Caroline are going to be two crucial players for the whole entire season coming off the bench. Hopefully they can stay healthy. And the same goes for Ayanna Patterson as well. She played incredible tonight. Her all-out hustle was just incredible to see, really aggressive. So for a freshman, especially to see that out of her, that's pretty special to see, and it was fun to watch tonight. I think that's gonna do it for me. Another good game recap here over Providence. UConn scoring 98 points wasn't much of a game tonight, but they're always fun to watch. UConn improves to 6-0. Me and Phil actually going to be back on the podcast less than 12 hours from now for the last check-in video versus Notre Dame. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back here in less than 12 hours for the last check-in versus Notre Dame. But obviously an exciting matchup on Sunday versus Notre Dame, traveling to Notre Dame. So I think that's going to do it for me here tonight. UConn winning 98-53. Last check-in video tomorrow versus Notre Dame. And of course, Phil will be joining me for the game recap on Sunday for that Notre Dame game. So this has been Rye. Listen up. I'll see you guys early tomorrow morning.